Okay, so here we are back in League of Legends, queued up, landed in the top lane, and this is Game 2 of the promo series, with the Kog'Maw game being Game 1. So for this one, I'm kind of leaning towards Malphite, and as the title does tell you, yes, he's the one I end up going for. So overall, this would be one of those times where you would maybe want a Yasuo, but seriously, there's rarely a time where you truly want him. This is just one of those maybe times where you'd still probably be better off not having one. But anyway, we have a Swain mid, so I haven't really played Swain in a long time. With a lot of the changes to some of the top lane items and stuff, he's not quite as dominant as he used to be. I imagine you can probably still do a lot of stuff with him in the lower ranks, like this one. It's just, if you want to do some of the higher rank stuff, he's not going to be as successful, I'm afraid. So in case you're wondering, I'm holding this to see what the jungler's going to do, and since I'm waiting a few seconds, he's not doing anything, and I eventually just say screw it.
Rock solid.
So I don't remember which chroma I used last time. I have two for Malphite, as you can see there, the white and the gray. This is the first Hextech skin I got from crafting that I actually like, the second one being Nunuban, and I think it's just those two. Third one being like Nosferatu Vladimir or something like that, which I'm probably never going to use. But in case you're wondering, I was considering Vladimir as a secondary pick here in the event that, we had a Talon or something in the mid lane. But when playing Malphite, I like to go heavy in the meditation department because I'm going to go for a Frozen Fist this game. That's going to give me a lot of mana, and as a result, I'll get a lot more mana regen, so I can actually spam my abilities without going I don't remember if Malphite actually got any changes other than his W since I last played him. Before, his mana costs were crippling. I think the change might have made them a little bit more tolerable, but it's it doesn't really remedy any of the bigger problems he has. So anyway, I'm up against Gnar. You will get to see in the course of the game what I mean by it's actually impossible to escape a Gnar, like a Vayne and a couple others. I'd actually say Gnar is worse because he can hop walls with a Z. Just be aware it's not until much, much later in the game where you actually get to see him with the Black Cleaver Fromal, and when he has those, I can't get away from him. As for the keystones, you'll notice real quick, he's running Grasp of the Undying, which, that would help him a little bit with poke, but my shield eventually will get to the point where that won't really be an issue. But Leona and I are both running Courage of the Colossus, and I guess Trundle is too, even though the only thing that can proc that is his Pillar if he lands it correctly, I think. And I'm not even entirely sure about the Pillar, it might just be Blast Cone. Corki is running Thunderlords, Zaya is running Warlords, Taric Windspeakers. Warwick, he's running Ghost and Courage of the Colossus, which I find kind of interesting. But I'm expecting a lot of harass out of Gnar, so I want to start with the Duran shield, so that way I get some healing. You're going to see me do a lot of weird itemization stuff this game because I'm forced to build a Randuin's Omen for the quest thing, and what I'm looking for right there is, does that actually slow movement speed with its passive effect? It's only the active that does. As for the Omen itself, I actually won't build that until near the end. And in case you're wondering, I'm going to have sky-high armor this game. So just a word of warning. Anyway, Malphite's passive is Granite Shield. Can't really read it too well, but after a period of not taking damage, you get 10% of your max HP as a shield. The period scales off of your level. It's 1-7-13. It goes down to 6 seconds at the end. Q is Seismic Shard. You target an enemy, you throw this rock at them. It will steal some of their movement speed, so they get slowed, you get to run fast, yada yada yada. W is Brutal Strikes. That's one of those things that change. Passive effect is it gives you additional armor. The armor is tripled while your passive is active. So that gives you incentive to stack HP. Then the active effect is that your auto attacks become AoE. They deal bonus damage scaling off your armor, I believe. Your E is Ground Pound. You basically slam the ground. It's an attack speed slow, scales off armor and AP or something like that. And then finally, your ult is Unstoppable Force or something like that? I forgot what exactly it was called, and I want to rewind the video to check. Basically, you target an area, and then you will dash forward, knock up everything in that vicinity, and yada yada yada. And as I mentioned, I'm going for Frozen Fist. I'm going to have a sky-high amount of armor, so you're going to see some massive frost zones. You can see right now, since I don't have a lot of HP, Gnar is pretty easily able to take down my passive. So for this lane, it's one where I want to play passive early. I'm fishing for level 7 to be exact, so that I get the cooldown reduction on my passive. And basically, I'm just waiting for my passive to come up, then I'll come forward last hit. Overall, as long as Gnar auto-attacks me, he's going to pull minion aggro. That's going to cause my guys to hit him, his will hit mine, and as a result, that will slowly push into my tower. Now, unfortunately, at level 1, you can't really last hit that well with Malphite under tower. A little confused on what Trundle thinks he can do over here. So that was a pretty bad pillar. And early on, red buff isn't really that good, I guess. So unfortunately, since he missed the pillar, he's going to go ahead and take CS. Because that's the fastest way to put a losing lane back into the game, you know? Make sure that they can't farm. And right here, I just need to wait until I get my level 3, and then I can actually ground pound the minions when they're actually kind of close to going down simultaneously. Like that. Ground pound is one of the more mana-efficient moves you get, even though all of his are not mana-efficient in the slightest. And once I actually have the Glacial Shroud, I'm going to have almost enough mana regen from Meditate to where I can kind of last hit with my Q. Gnar warded the Tri-Brush as he was going through it, so that's why you can see Trundle coming. And there's no real point in me trying to freeze this, because Gnar can unfreeze it with his boomerang. You'll see what I mean later on when he's literally throwing the boomerang out like every 3 seconds. I'm not entirely sure why he isn't really played more, since he's really good into tanks on account of his hyper. He's also ranged, so you get to have a lot of favorable matchups. He doesn't actually have to worry about getting bullied by Gangplank in his tiny form. So right here, I do have Warwick's attention, I guess, but I'm not too worried about it. They will tower dive me eventually. But like I was saying, the name of the game is just survive, sustain, last hit where you can. And then once he does poke me down, I can just back off, and everything's gonna be fine. So right here I want the refillable, I grab double cloth armor, and to mess with him I need to teleport real quick so that he can't get this. So I'm going to be maxing W first for the armor that it gives. And by having double cloth armor, I do get more armor out of it. It's just I don't actually have any health other than I think Duran Shield gives you something like 80, so that's going to boost my passive by a whopping 8 points. Now the first item I'm going to complete is the Frozen Fist. That's for mana regen purposes as well as the slow field. That way I can just basically dive into enemy fights. Once I knock everyone up I have to auto attack, and then this slow field is dispersed. From there, I'm going to build Thornmail. I don't really think it's that important to get it early against Gnar because it doesn't deal as much damage as it used to. Like, when you build it these days, it's more for the grievous wounds than the actual damage reflection, I'd say. So right there we have a Cloud Dragon, so I can get back into lane more easily. And this is slowly pushing Gnar's way. And then remember, as soon as he hits me, he has my minion's attention, and it's going to start pushing the other way. And then pushing these in a tower is not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. So overall, I'd say he was kind of ambitious here. He goes all in, he uses his ult, his stun, but I can just hit him with Q and walk away. And then you have to remember I am running Bandit, so I do get gold back for smacking him around. And right here we are going to go for the Glacial Shroud for mana purposes. So there's no reason to buy a pink ward at the moment. The reason for that being is it's impossible for me to defend. But I will go ahead and get a Rejuve bead so I can actually heal a bit more in lane. Now be aware, Glacial Shroud gives you mana and armor, nothing for health. But anyway, once I get back into lane I can hit level 7, and when I do so, that's when the cooldown on my passive is going to go from 10 seconds to 8. So I don't think I talked about what runes I took here, but I'm running 80 reds, and then I wanted the Duran Shield for a little bit more extra damage to last hit with. I'm getting maxing Q seconds so I can just walk away from fights. As for Gnar, you can see he has a Phage because he's going for Black Cleaver and Fromal. That's what I did in the game I played, I think. I might have actually went for a Adaptive Helm first, but he doesn't need to do that here because he has just lane advantage on account of the way the two characters work. So unfortunately for Gnar, he's going to learn that my Q does outrange his W. So when I move in to Q him, he's going to try to use the W and it's not going to get him anything. Right here I'm actually okay with taking that trade because if you notice, he's a lot worse off than I am. And I want to do that trade near the end of his transformation because then he doesn't have as much mana regen. So right here he has to burn some potions in order to heal up. That's all well and good, it's just I do have the Rejuve bead to help me anyway. The advantage he has though is him being resourceless, of course. So right there the W doesn't connect. And right here I finally activate the W so I can start wave clearing. And I probably should have left those alone to let the lane freeze a little bit more in my favor. It wouldn't totally freeze, but it'd still be better. And I don't know what Trundle was thinking right there. So unfortunately right here I'm going to get creep blocked, which is going to make me miss my ult. So if you notice, I'm completely surrounded. So right here he's going to ping me like he's having some sort of spasm or something, so I just immediately mute him. So pretty much if he's going to cry and whine, I legitimately do not want any part of it, so I'm pretty much done with him. But right here I'm going to go ahead and grab the Bramble Vest, grab me another cloth armor. Probably should have grabbed boots to be honest, but it doesn't really matter. Why does it matter, you ask? Okay, he's tiny. And he came close to me. Sorry, Gnar, this is where you die. So I just have to keep spamming my Q to stick to him. I can use my E to cut into his movement speed. He fails his hop. So right there, movement speed. Hit him, get the bandit gold. Good night, Gnar.
You have slain an enemy. An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill. An enemy has been slain.
So keep in mind the Cleaver has a pretty impressive cost, all things considered, for the recipe and everything. As a result, it's going to take him a little while to build that, and I'm going to actually start bullying him when he's trying to save up for that. So yes, there was no need for the Trundle to be a drama queen, but this is solo queue. Well, it's flex queue to be exact. It's ranked, so that's pretty much the norm is what I'm trying to get at. But anyway, the bullying is going to get bad enough. It's going to get Warwick's attention. He has to come top. So you'll see he has Merc Treads now. I don't have boots of my own just yet. What ultimately happens is the Merc Treads is going to make it so that he doesn't get slowed as long, but the slow is still going to be severe. And the dilemma of sorts here is I go for Ninja Tabby because I'm kind of concerned about a lot of auto attack damage from Warwick, from him, from Xayah. And I probably do need Boots of Swiftness in order to actually, like, get away from him when he's using the Fro-Mal Black Cleaver combo. He missed. And then for some reason he decides to come close to me. So with all the armor I have, my W really does hurt. And when he wants to hit me, he's going to take damage from the Thornmail. Well, the Bramble Vest. So right here he's trying to harass me under tower. And right there I blew my flash. So right there he does get away from me before I can Q him. But that's pretty much Malphite's big combo there. You want to do the ult into the ground pound, and generally the enemy is either going to be terrified enough so that they peel away, or they generally die. One of the two. But anyway, right here I want the Ninja Tabby so I can actually keep up with him from here. And like I said, this in retrospect was probably a mistake. But it does give you armor, so that's going to lead to more damage and so on. Right here I was wondering, do I actually want the Righteous Glory? Because it would let me run faster, it's just, I don't think it gives as much utility as the Frozen Fist would. You have to remember that while Xayah does become untargetable while she ults, she's still going to land in my slow field, and then she should be a sitting duck.
I'm moving as fast as I can.
So right here we have Warwick's attention. And we're going to have a fight here in a moment, so I'm trying to clear this. So right there I did get the rank 2 ult. If you look in the river, there's Trundle and Gnar. So I kind of want Swain to just turn around on Warwick. But in the end, we do kill him. So that's 2 of them for just the Trundle, and I don't mind sacrificing Drama Queens. unfortunately without the Sheen, I'm not really good at taking towers. So I'm just trying to push this in so it'll bounce back. And right here you can see how little damage I do. So unfortunately, your AP will be converted into additional damage to the towers, but there's nothing for armor or MR. So keep in mind, due to the damage reflection from the Bramble Vest, he can hit me and I will draw a tower aggro. So one thing worth mentioning is we are past the 15-minute point and I still do not have any health items. So my passive is not really doing too much just yet. In case you're wondering, for the Rejuve B, there were a few different things I was considering building. First and foremost, the obvious one would probably be like Warmogs, because it's just straight up health. I'd go for Zerat Portal, which would give me just straight defenses and then health regen. That would help my pushing power. Right there I wanted to hit him for Bandit Gold, but still be forced to Z. So right here he kind of has to make a choice. He's going to recall. If he sticks around, he's going to be in a really bad spot. So he forces teleport. You can see he has his completed Cleaver, by the way. Wrong brush.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
So right here he's trying to fight me. Granted, he does have the Cleaver and everything, it's just I do have that much armor. As we get closer and closer to level 13, then my passive's going to be on a 6-second cooldown. Right here you can see with the max Q and then this cooldown reduction from the Black Cleaver, he's throwing this out every 2-3 seconds. Overall, I still do very much say that it's really stupid he has a CC move on such a low cooldown. Right there I'm just body blocking so he can't last hit the minions there. Like, I'll never understand the meaning behind his Q having a slow attached to it. So right here, Warwick has actively marked me, which tells me he's coming here. And I should have just kept running. So right there I end up carrying him to safety, but it doesn't really matter because you can see he wasn't taking a lot of damage in the first place. So right here is when I was eyeing that Raptor Cloak. Ultimately I do not go with it though. So I'm not entirely sure the significance of dropping the Herald there, but he did. And with the Sheen, I can really trade with Gnar now. So check out that slow field.
Yes.
So keep in mind I have the whole triple armor thing when my passive is active, so right here we're jumping up to 450 armor. I'm going to spam my abilities to a certain degree here for Spellblade procs. That way I can go ahead and take this, actually. I'm gonna have to face tank some of the tower here because my damage goes down to a measly 20 without the minions nearby. So stupid. But you can see how much the slow field changes in size when my passive isn't up. Like, my complaint about armor stacking wasn't really as much of a problem when Atmas was actually a thing, but they never quite replaced that item. And I should also mention, if I didn't have to build the Randuin's Omen for the stupid mission thing, I'd probably go for a Sunfire Cape instead. That way I deal more damage, I have more health, more armor. The Omen isn't really going to do much here. Like, the best case scenario is I just jump into the middle of the enemy team and use it there. But the counter argument is, I have a Frozen Fist with a massive slow field, so I'm going to slow them anyway. Hey, Warwick, let's fight. Yeah, I forced Intra to go there to save him. So keep in mind his passive does deal magic damage, it's just, it's so inconsequential that it doesn't matter. Same for the Cinder part of his Cinder Hulk, the Bambi Cinder. So Warwick on his own isn't really a problem, it's just if he has Gnar with him that I do have to watch out a bit. Anyway, with all of them down there, I figure, you know what? Free CS, free tower.
Killing spree.
Don't worry, you will see me take Malphite into the team fights eventually. Right here I need a proxy a bit. And then just use your spells intermittently so that you can get the Spellblade procs. Like, right now I don't remember why I stopped doing it. There we go. So I was probably looking at something like the minimap or something and I wasn't really paying attention. If you notice, my team is peeling back a bit. It does not mean anyone's coming top just yet, though.
Has been slain.
And there's Gnar. So watch this. Look at the minimap. I force his teleport. And I don't even go bot. I just go mid. Poor Gnar. That's a massive cooldown down for nothing. Poor Yordle. So right here I want the Giant Spell component first, just so I have more health. That way I have more passive bonus also. And then I'll get the Warden's Mail component later. Overall, I don't think the Thorn Mail and the Warden's Mail effect on the Randuin's Omen actually stacks. So generally I don't think you want both of them, it's just... Like I said, I'm doing a mission, and remember, Riot said those are not supposed to affect the way we play the game. Wink, wink. Not to mention this week is the one where they want you to do a 5-man pre-made teleport game. So keep in mind, Dragon Breath is magic damage. I just don't care. The only MR I have at the moment is just the runes that I have. It's going to give me 27 at level 18. Like, one of the things that sucks about the upcoming rune changes is there's no more scaling stuff, which is, like, the core stuff I've been using ever since I started playing this game. And right here, Gnar does have his Frozen Mallet, by the way, so this one is just going to chain slow me until I die.
Rampage.
Would have actually gotten away if not for Tarek. And unfortunately, Tarek did not hit me, so there was no damage reflection from the Thornmail, so I do not get an assist off him. So right here, Corki now has tower aggro. And if you look, Gnar's primary form of dealing damage to me right now is his Hyper, the 3-hit passive on his W. Unfortunately, since that's magic damage, I do need a source of MR, but because of the mission, I need to go ahead and get the Randuin's Omen. So yes, you can see I'm giving more priority to the mission rather than the actual game at hand. So right here, my ult is up. I'm like halfway to level 16, which will give me the rank 3. Now keep in mind, for our combo, I need to initiate this because the Corki package is going to knock them all aside. So basically I need to try to bind them all in one spot for him, then he carpet bombs them. Then we can have Leona follow up, or I guess Leona could initiate for us with Solar Flare. It's just the Corki package doesn't really fit in, I guess. Anyway, 3 of them together, I only managed to reach 1, but we can pick off Tarek right there at the beginning of the fight before he can use a lot of his items. His ult, I think, still went off for 2 of them, but they were so far ahead it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. And right here I'm moving in position to cut off Xayah. I can't actually kill her without my ult, but I can keep her out of the fight. So there's the slow field. In reality, I could face tank that, by the way, since I'm sitting on 500 armor. So right here I need to lead the way because, like I said, I have the armor. And this, we could sit and tank, but we do have the minions right there, so it doesn't really matter. Right here I'm trying to tell them I don't have my ult, so we can fall back, buy, come back, and end. That'd be the best case scenario for us. Especially since we do have Baron at the moment, we have the enhanced recall, so we can get out in 4 seconds instead of 8. Here we have the Randuin's Omen. And I'm going to sell my potions so that I can get some sort of MR finally. I don't know if I'm going to go Adaptive Helm at this point or Spirit Visage. Like, Adaptive Helm isn't going to help too much because they don't have any sort of dot component. Gnar's W should not be going off fast enough to apply for the Adaptive Helm effect, but you never truly know, I guess. So most likely I'd probably go Spirit Visage. Anyway, right here I'll tank this for Swain a bit. Help him with a little bit of damage, a Seismic Shard, a Sheen proc. And you can see he clears that pretty damn quick. Anyway, there's about 1 more fight before this game ends.
Okay.
So basically with 1 inhibitor left, that's the lane we want to pressure. And there's no real rush to do this because sooner or later the super minions will be barreling into the other lanes. It's just I did not use the Spellblade proc there. look, they're grouped. So I took out Syndra's Banshee's Veil. Xayah goes down. I can turn around and go after Warwick. I can turn onto the Syndra. And we don't lose anyone in the end. That's literally the end of the game, because they threw everything they had and they couldn't kill anyone. So right here I'm going to go ahead and flash, just so that I can get in position so they can see me dance on their base. Now they know who the boss is. The Shard of the Monolith. So anyway, we're going to go on the post-game screen. You can see that concludes the promo series. Unfortunately, I did not get a box this week, but I still have like 30 of those and no keys. I might have like 34 and 4 keys, but I'm still sitting on over 30 boxes, so who gives a damn at this point. So that completes the mission. I'm in something now, I don't remember, I can't read the number on there because it's too damn small. A+ ranking, everyone honored Leona. In terms of damage dealt, I somehow did more than Trundle, the guy who does % HP damage to 2 tanks on the team. 3 if you want to argue Tarek, but who cares. Anyway, I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.